This is Fred Foy. Join us now as we travel back in time and relive some of the magic that was part of the golden age of radio. It's time now for another episode of The Glowing Dial.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting. Use Gritto, radio friends, the soap that gives your hands that dishpan look. How will the old man know you've been working if your hands don't have that dishpan look? Put a box of Gritto in a glass of water, then listen to it fizz. Dopes. Remember, Gritto spelled sideways is atragg. And now Gritto's own story of Sandra Sandpile, and here's Mud in Your Eye. Music.
I heard you on the wireless back in 52, lying awake intently tuning in on you. If I was young, it didn't stop you coming through. They took the credit for your second symphony, rewritten by machine on new technology. And now I understand the problems you could see. I met your children. What did you tell them?
Video killed the radio star. Video killed the radio star.
Pictures came.
And now the hosts of The Glowing Dial, Big John and Steve.
Well, thank you very much, Fred Foy. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of The Glowing Dial, that most fantabulous old-time radio program you're going to want to hear anywhere, any place, any time. Big John Matthews here with you, and yes, Steve Archiver Bannock is still out and about looking for a job, so we are having some guest co-hosts. And last time you heard Stu Chisholm, and Stu will be back in future shows. But I have a friend in town who is going to join us here, and you heard him back in 2003 in that epic production of War of the Worlds that we did on the Glowing Dial as our hapless announcer, Greg Barker. Hello, Greg.
Hi, John. How you doing?
Okay, you're smiling. We were talking earlier, and Greg saying you can't listen to that without cringing.
It was just so. I'm just glad it was done in fun, because if that was serious, I would have. Oh, that was horrible. I just sounded so bad.
Well, the whole thing was tongue in cheek, so that's it.
It was my radio acting debut.
And finale.
And finale, thank goodness, yes.
Yeah, and finale. Oh well, but it was fun. I stayed up all night writing that damn thing, so we hope you enjoyed it. It's in the Glowing Dial archives if you still want to hear it. So you're up there for posterity, Greg.
Yay.
So we have this 3-week period the show is going to be airing. We're going to be celebrating Memorial Day. So we want to wish you in advance a happy Memorial Day. And to that end, we have a celebration of the Armed Forces Radio Service. We're going to bring you 4 shows that were done by them, produced by them. And we're going to get started with all of that and more right after this. Perhaps the funniest series ever on radio is now available in a 14 CD limited edition package. That's all 273 episodes, plus bonus material. Yes, available at last. The complete story of Chicken Man. This is the ultimate collector's package, mastered from the original master tapes by Dick Orkin, Chicken Man's creator and voice. Aside from every Chicken Man episode ever made, this package includes interviews with key players, behind-the-scenes stories, and an official color photo, personally autographed by Chicken Man himself. And each limited edition package is individually numbered. A very naughty criminal mastermind, now a reformed swell guy, says of our hero,
"The most fantastic crime fighter the world has ever known."
An anonymous admirer says,
"He's poultry in motion."
By now you're probably asking yourself, how the heck can I get one of these neato packages? Well, simply hop online and go to glowingdial.com. Scroll down and you'll see the magnificent no-expense-spared advertisement and ordering link. Remember, this is a limited edition numbered package, so you better hurry up and order. If you don't, you might miss out. And then all I can say is, wow! And we are back, folks. We have a tribute to the Armed Forces Radio Service coming up for you. We have 4 different shows produced by them. And before we get started with that, I want to give you a little brief history of the Armed Forces Radio Service. The Armed Forces Radio Service had been created by the War Department as a means to entertain and inform the troops. The service was run by the GIs for the GIs. AFRS was centered in Hollywood, not only close to resources of the entertainment industry, but there was also a lot of military training and staging in the area during the early days of the Second World War. AFRS programming was developed for local broadcast in the various theaters of the war. On July 4, 1943, the first AFRS broadcast in Europe was played over borrowed equipment. As the Allies moved east after D-Day, AFRS stations were set up in most liberated cities. Programming from the States was sometimes sent by short wave, but this was unreliable. The preferred method was to pre-record programming on transcription discs and then mail them to the various stations. So there you go. A lot of that stuff just wasn't heard here here domestically, but overseas for our boys that were fighting for our freedom and freedom of the free world. The first program we have is called GI Journal, and the episode here is called Inner Stinkum, which is a parody of Inner Sanctum, of course. This was, I'm not sure, these air dates could vary because the different places and times that these shows were aired overseas. But we have a date of Friday, November 26, 1943, over Armed Forces Radio Service. And this episode is starring Jack Carson, Sully Mason, Charles Levere, Wally Mayer, Jerry Colonna, Kay Kaiser's Orchestra, Linda Darnell, Mel Blanc, Arthur Q. Bryan, Georgia Carroll, Harry Babbitt, and Harry Mitchell is announcing. Now, standing by to do some of his co-hostly duties is Greg, who's going to tell us a little bit more about GI Journal. Take it away, Greg.
All righty. A very popular show from the Hollywood was GI Journal, a combination situation comedy and variety show. The premise of the sitcom was celebrity guest editors putting out a weekly newspaper. Guest editors would include Bob Hope, Bing Crosby, George Murphy, Groucho Marx, Edgar Bergen, Frank Sinatra, and many others. They would have guest staff and reporters with a comedy or pin-up tie-in. Lucille Ball, Linda Darnell, Roy Rogers, Fibber McGee and Molly, Jane Wyman, Connie Hines, Ann Miller, Ginger Rogers, the list goes on. Like many shows of the era, the big band sound was important to GI Journal. Many service orchestras appeared, including the Army Air Force Training Command Orchestra, there's a mouthful, with Captain Glenn Miller, Kay Kaiser and his orchestra of Kay Kaiser's College of Musical Knowledge, and that's college with a K, by the way, were frequently featured. Other musical guests included Mel Torme and the Mel Tones, John Scott Trotter and his orchestra, and the Tommy Dorsey Orchestra, which is actually one of my favorite big bands. Many episodes featured an original song written by a GI overseas, which would be sent to Hollywood and performed by a pretty girl in the studio. Hopefully not pretending to be him. What a treat for the GI songwriter. Another regular feature was Mel Blanc playing Private Sad Sack, bringing the pantomime cartoon to the radio.
That's pantomime.
Pantomime.
I'm
sorry.
You were struggling with there.
I know the word to say it. It's reading it. That's all kind of got me.
All right. Well, for your first time giving show details, that was pretty good. And not much editing having to be done there. So, all right. Now we're going to induct you even further here in your, I was going to say interrogation. That's not the right word.
I think it fits. It fits.
Initiation
Yeah,
into the glowing dial. Yes. I want you to reach over to this wonderful radio here that we have rewired to tune in broadcasts in the past. We call it the McGee machine.
Oh, you need this big box over here?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay.
And before you do it, you want to flip that switch to AFRS.
Okay.
Okay, good. And then you just manipulate that tuning dial, and we will...
What, the big one here?
Yes.
Oh, all right.
You got it.
Okay. All right.
And she's warming up. I can hear it.
I hear sound.
You did good. All right, folks, so here we go. Sit back, close your eyes, and remember, this is G.I. Journal, Inner Stinkum, from Friday, November 26, 1943, over the Armed Forces Radio Service.
The G.I. Journal goes to press. Yes, sir, it's the G.I. Journal again, the Armed Forces radio newspaper of the AEF. Fellas, our guest editor tonight is the man we've had once before, who very willingly filled in for our regular editors, Bing Crosby and Kay Kaiser. He made a big impression, too, because right after his show, more letters came in than we've ever had before. However, in spite of what you wrote, we're going to ask you to give him another chance. Your editor-in-chief for this edition, Jack Carson.
Hiya, men! Hiya, Jack! Gee, I'm an editor again. Who said that crime doesn't pay? Golly, fellas, I'm sure glad to get another chance to help front up your G.I. Journal. As you know, it's the camp newspaper of the whole United Nations, and as usual, this is the 5-star final with your 5-star reporters. There's lovely Linda Darnell, our female girl. V stands for... Our guest editor of Ishkabibble's Views from the Muses Poetry column, Wilbur. Mel Blanc, Arthur Q. Bryan in charge of our Lovelorn section. Harry Mitchell, our able commentator. And, of course, there's our star outside reporter, Jerry Colonna, who should be calling in with a big story right now. Hello, J.C. speaking.
J.C. speaking. Oh, this is J.N.C. speaking.
What's the N for?
Nothing. I was born before they could give me a middle name. I called to tell you I'm out here reconnoitering.
Oh, Corporal.
Booby trap. Hey, Chief, I've just located an enemy machine gun nest. I'm unarmed except for a grenade.
Well, quick, take your grenade.
Yes.
Pull a pin.
Yes. Wrong pin.
Before I get needled anymore, I better chase over to the type rack and set up the heading for Kay Kaiser and his orchestra. The old professor isn't here with us tonight, but he's loaned me his baton, so let's push off by pushing sand. Turning to the printing section of the old G.I. Journal, we find...
Hello.
Hello, who are you?
I'm Wilbur. I'm substitute for Ishkabibble.
Substitute? You look like mush on a shingle.
I like him. He's silly.
Well, Wilbur, tell me, have you got a cold?
Uh-huh.
What are you doing for it? Well, before you read the poems for the views from the Muses column, what's the idea of that hole in your shirt?
Well, that's for air.
Air?
Well, sure. I gophers have to breathe, don't they?
Well, they do, but I'm not so sure about you. Who's the first poem from?
It's from Private Lester Kozaki, overseas in India. Poem. When I was a boy with tousled hair, I went through life with never a care. To remain a child was my only desire. Then somebody sent me a copy of Esquire.
That is mature anybody's outlook, all right.
The next poem is a nursery rhyme from Andy Eller in Alaska.
Well, let's have it.
Mary had a little lamb. How'd she get it? Her boyfriend's the butcher. She also got a little milk. How? She had a pull with the cow.
You really milked that line, didn't you? Don't forget, fellas, if you run across any little poems, just email them into the old GI Journal, care of Armed Forces Radio, Los Angeles, USA, and we'll let Wilbur shred it to bits for you. Hello?
Hello, Chief. I'm over here with the chemical warfare boys. Egad, what fun we're having.
Fun in chemical warfare, Kelowna?
Yes, you take chemicals and mix them all up together. See, I take a little out of this bottle, then I take a little out of that bottle, and presto.
What happens?
What a stink!
Kelowna, you make my blood boil.
Limited service, eh? Don't worry about a thing, Chief. I'm working on my secret weapon.
Secret weapon, eh? What is it?
Well, it's sort of a paper bag with a string around it. After you get the string around it, you throw it at the enemy.
Well, that's the silliest thing I ever heard of. How could a paper bag hurt anybody?
Inside, skunks.
Kelowna, don't you realize there's a war going on?
Of course, Chief. There's a sniper over there in that tree who's been shooting at me all day.
Did it get you?
No, just put a hole through the middle of my helmet.
Get you that time?
Nope, just put a few more holes in my helmet.
But Kelowna, you fool, your helmet is covering your head.
Oh, playing dirty, eh? Well, I'll fix them. I'll make up a Molotov cocktail and blow them to bits.
Be careful, Kelowna. Those Molotov cocktails are dangerous.
Now, that's all you do is put some gasoline in a bottle. Good thing I have my C-card. There, now I'll light it and throw it at the sniper.
What's the matter?
Stuck to my hand.
Well, Kelowna, do something before it explodes.
I think I'll apply for a discharge.
Now for our music page again, it's Kay Kaiser's band and Sully Mason and the gang and Shoo Shoo Baby.
Oh, shoo, 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 my baby.
Shoo, 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 baby. Ah, shoo, 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 baby. And bye-bye, my baby. I cause your papa's off to the 7th sea. Don't you cry, my baby. And don't sigh, baby. Oh, bye-bye, my baby. When I come back, we'll live a life of ease.
Seems kind of tough now to say goodbye this way. But Papa's trying to be rough now so that he can be sweet to you another day.
Ah, bye-bye, my baby. And don't you cry, my baby. Oh, shoo, 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 baby. 'Cause your papa's off to the 7th sea.
Shoo, 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 baby.
Oh, don't you cry.
Shoo, 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 baby.
Oh, don't you sigh.
Shoo, 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 baby.
'Cause your papa's going to sail the 7th sea.
Gee, Linda Darnell, it's nice to be working with you again. Remember the last time how bashful and shy I was?
Oh, yes, you were, Jack.
Well, meet the new Jack Carson. I'm not bashful and shy anymore, am I?
Well, come out from under that desk and I'll tell you.
Oh, Linda, I'm not as bad as that, am I?
Oh, of course you aren't, Jack. But I wish you'd tell me one thing.
What's that?
Well, why can't you behave yourself around girls?
Too many round girls.
Well, look, Jack, I hate to tell you this, but you still have a lot to learn about girls.
About girls what? I mean, about girls? What?
Well, for one thing, Jack, you'll never make an impression unless you show signs of consideration. Bring them little tokens of love, you know?
Well, that reminds me. I brought you a little token of love. Here.
Oh, Jack, how wonderful. A whole gumdrop.
Well, you know me. I don't care how I spend my money.
But, Jack, look, somebody licked all the sugar off the gumdrop.
Well, gee whiz, Linda, you don't want to get fat, do you?
That's exactly what I mean, Jack. You don't act romantic with girls.
Why, Linda, I've been romantic all my life. I remember when I was a little boy. I used to be crazy about the little girl next door.
Really, Jack?
Yeah. Every night we'd walk across the old bridge over a brook. If the moon was shining, we'd always stop in the middle of it and lean way over.
Well, what did you do then? Kiss?
Nope. Spit. I don't know why I don't appeal to girls, Linda. Tell me, what do you look for in a man?
Well, Jack, he must have nice blue eyes.
I have nice blue eyes.
And he must have a nice head of hair.
I have a nice head of hair.
And he must be intelligent, witty, cultured, and refined.
I have a nice head of hair.
Well, Jack, really, I think we've talked enough about ourselves. When are we going to read our letters to the editor, huh?
You ask as you start opening letters. Who's the first one from, Linda?
Well, it's from Private Colin Gutfill at APO 980. He's telling about king-size mosquitoes there. The mosquitoes are so big, one of the Air Force ground crew put 65 gallons of gas into one before he noticed that his B-26 bomber was in the next hangar.
That's not so big. Back in Milwaukee, we had some... Back in Milwaukee... I have a little trouble, too, here. Why, Linda, gal, that's not so big. Back in Milwaukee, we had them so big and tough that Maggie's drawers were made out of sheet metal.
Oh, they certainly came to a dead end that time. Dead end, get it?
So did you.
Anyhow, our next letter is from Paul Sessoms out in the Pacific. He writes lyrics, Jack.
Leave me see. Not bad, eh? Listen. Now, the Admiral told the captain, and the captain let it slip, that we're being transferred to a new and bigger ship. Now, we also keep hearing that by Christmas, of course we don't know which one, that the war will soon be over, after it's begun. Now, back home, that is known as gossip, news, or smut. We have the same thing in the Navy, but in there we call it scuttlebutt. Of course, in the Army, there's a different name for it.
What is your question?
Yes.
I want your paper to protect me. The police are trying to grill me.
What, did you do anything wrong?
No, not a thing. Don't let them grill me. I'm innocent.
Well, then why are you so afraid of being grilled?
Because I'm a Frankfurter.
I'd like to dip him into a jar of mustard. What other letters we got there, honey?
Well, Jack, we got a real bit of jive talk from Sergeant Lester Coleman at APO 634. He says, while my mellow frame was stacked down on the sod, one of the cats happened to tune in GI Journal. You continue to satisfy, and the next bombing party we give that Hitler, I shall personally sprawl your autograph on one of the largest packages we carry.
Well, we'll take that offer, Sarge. What else you got there, Linda Lou?
Well, gee, Jack, we got lots more swell letters from Tex Taylor of the 4th Defense Battalion, and Dusty Miller, Bob Linwood, and Nurse Guidry of a Searchlight Unit. Now, remember, fellas, if you think of anything, just email it here to the old GI Journal, care of Armed Forces Radio, Los Angeles, USA, and we'll give it a reading.
Hey, speaking of reading, I'd like to read the palm of this next pinup girl and predict the glorious future for her. It's blonde, gorgeous Georgia Carroll singing How Sweet You Are.
How sweet you are, how sweet you are, how dear your tenderly smiling face. Through days so bitter and gray and grim, through nights when even the stars are dim, how sweet to know my heart can glow from just the warmth of our first embrace. The world's a lovely world by far when I remember how sweet you are. World's a lovely world by far when I remember how sweet you are.
Greetings, Mr. Carson.
Hello.
Mr. Carson, don't you think we better answer our one problems now?
How do you like this guy? Every time he sends the letter R out in the mission, it goes AWOL.
You're real witty. Have you ever thought of getting into radio?
What am I laughing at? Read your love, Lauren, problem.
Oh, This problem is from Joe Panko, somewhere in the Pacific. Joe says his girl is the outdoor type, always wanting to go hunting or fishing or something. And he wants to know how to break her of this habit.
He doesn't want to hunt or fish, eh? Well, what does he want?
Are you kidding? Well, Joe, my advice is for you to pitch right in and learn to like the same thing. If your girl likes fishing, get yourself a strolling line and go out strolling, too.
The word happens to be trolling. Strolling has nothing to do with fishing.
Ever watched a sailor following a blonde? Well, as I was saying, if she likes hunting, go out hunting.
You know, I like hunting.
You do? What do you usually shoot?
Anything up to a quarter.
I mean animals.
Oh, well, I've shot all sorts of game.
Me, too. In fact, I've even shot a dodo bird once.
A dodo bird? But they're extinct.
They sure do. But I was wearing a gas mask, so it didn't bother me.
You ain't heard nothing yet. Once I was out in the North Woods with only one bullet in my rifle. Suddenly I came face to face with a wolf. Just as I was about to fire, a wild bull came rushing at me. What a spot. Should I kill the wolf or the bull?
Well, if I'd have been you, I'd have shot the wolf.
You would? Why?
Because you already shot too much bull.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good morning. Good evening. Hello.
Hello there.
Hey there, remember me? My name is Mel Sad Sack.
How could I forget? Look, do you always talk like that?
Oh, I used to yes. Sometimes I don't always yes.
Anything interesting been happening to you?
Oh, not much. I just wanted to tell you a very funny joke.
Well, anybody who'd shoot himself to avoid this is a sissy. Go ahead.
Well, it's about three little bears.
Seems to me I've heard that before.
Well, probably Barry came home and he said, "Who's been drinking my beer?" And then the mama bear said, "Who's been drinking my beer?"
And what did the baby bear say? And with this cheery note, we turn to our music page again. This time it's Harry Babbitt gliding over the grace notes singing So Good.
I never was one to hand out one word that wasn't true. But, baby, you're such a standout. I can't conceal the way I feel about you. When the lipstick on my collar starts you raving.
Shame, shame, shame.
And I tell you that I cut myself while shaving.
Blame, blame, blame.
And you do believe I wasn't misbehaving. Baby, you're so good to me. When you're sitting in your rocking chair and knitting.
Rock, rock, rock.
It's a cross between a sweater and a mitten.
Sock, sock, sock.
When you tell me it's for me instead of Britain. Though the socks are loud, I'm proud as I can be. Honey, you're so good to me. Lucky me. Without your kind of love, where would I be? You're so good to me.
Say, Jack, here's a letter from Corporal Al Durandi of APO 468.
What's it say?
Well, the good corporal hasn't heard one of those spooky radio shows for a long time, he
Well,
said.
swell. Let's get spooky for the lad.
Okay.
Here's our version of those blood-tingling mystery programs. We call it Inner Stinkum. Okay, let's start smelling it up.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Inner Stinkum. As we start tonight's story, we see a desolate swampland with two lonely figures.
With a figure like that, how can she be lonely?
We see a desolate swampland with two lonely figures gliding through the marshlands at midnight. Hark! Let us listen to these two weary and frightened travelers as they huddle close to each other.
Oh, come on, kid. Huddle a little closer.
Jack, I can't go on any further. I'm tired.
Oh, you poor kid. Maybe I better get off your shoulders.
Are you frightened, Jack?
Me frightened? Perish the thought.
Oh, what's that?
The thought just perished.
Oh, Jack, I'm so scared I got goose pimples going up and down my spine.
You have?
Yeah, I don't mind them going up, but oh, brother, that return trip.
Look at that house ahead of us. It's old and desolate.
Gee, I'm scared, but let's climb up the stairs, Jack, huh?
Okay, let's go.
Creak, creak, creak.
Looks like we're up the creek.
Here, Jack, I'll open the door.
Now, let's go. Nobody home.
Oh, I'm a ghost.
A ghost? You don't look like a ghost.
I can't help it. I can't get my sheet back from the laundry.
Oh, gee, Jack, I'm glad you're here. Here, hold my hand.
Yeah. Oh, this is better. Let me hold your hand a little tighter.
Oh, Jack, your hand. It's not a hand, it's a paw.
A paw? I don't know why that should be.
Oh, this place gives me the creep. Oh, what's that?
Mice.
How come they make so much noise?
They just ate some GI cheese.
Oh, what a spooky house.
Gosh, that was horrible.
I'm sorry. It's the best I can do.
Tune in again next week. If there is a next week. Until then, this is your favorite program, We the People Spook.
And now let's dip over into the sharps and flats department for the man up in APO 528. Speaking for the old Professor K. Kaiser, it's Harry, Julie, Diane, Sully, and Max all blending their efforts in Best of All.
There was Louise that I squeezed in Tunisia. There was a skirt in dessert that made me fall. There was a miss that I kissed up in Kiska. And that tiger lady from Bengal.
Oh, that tiger.
Loved to pay a little frail in Australia. I loved the class London lassie on the mall.
On the mall.
But wherever I may roam, it's the gal I left back home
That I love best of all. No one was finer than Dinah in China, although she spoke with a broken southern drawl. He went in hot socks and sock in Morocco, for a dream girl in a sandy shawl. Whoa.
Oh, there was Leah in Pantelleria. I loved a lush little Russian fireball. There was a doll of a mall out in Holland, and I kissed her on the North Sea wall.
Why, sure.
In Honolulu, I hulu'd with a Beulah.
And what a beaut she was.
The palms in my arms, she couldn't stop.
You tell him I said her, but wherever we may roam, it's the gal we left back home that we love best of all.
But wherever I may roam, it's the girl I left back home
That we love best of all.
Hello?
Hello, Chief. Cologne again. I'm over here in India. There's a big tiger trying to bluff me.
A tiger, Kelowna, be careful. He'll eat you up.
It's its music has charms to soothe the savage beast. I'll sing this to the tiger. On the road to Germany, where our flyers are on a spree, and our bombs come down like thunder as all that Alpha tries to flee.
Hey, Kelowna, what did that tiger do to you?
Your outside reporter is now inside.
That guy'd get under anybody's skin. Well, fellas, just another reminder. If you run across a riddle, poem, letter, gag, or commercial you like, just V-mail it in to the old GI Journal, care of the Armed Forces Radio, Los Angeles, USA, and we'll be glad to give it a pica or two. Meantime, we'll be setting up more columns for our next edition. This is Jack Carson saying, so long.
The GI Journal has been a presentation of the Armed Forces Radio Service.
Good ladles, evening and gentlemen. This is Jay Ronburn inviting you to hear the Gliling Doe. I mean the Doling Glile. Well, you know. It's the best in old raid timeo with Big Stan and Jeeve. Don't Dutch that tile.
And we are back, folks. Hope you enjoyed that episode of G.I. Journal. That was Inner Stinkum from Friday, November 26, 1943, over the Armed Forces Radio Service. And we have 3 more Armed Forces programs to bring you. We're going to get to all of that and more right after this. Hi, Big John here to tell you about the greatest internet experience you'll ever have. And I'm talking about the Glowing Dial page. And to get there, all you have to do is simply point your browser to www.glowingdial.com. It couldn't be any easier. The Glowing Dial page is the internet presence for our old-time radio show, The Glowing Dial. There are so many things to see and do at the Glowing Dial page, we don't have time to list them all, but here's a few. Read mini bios of Steve, Stu, and myself and find out how the show came to be. Enter our latest contest and win a neat prize. Visit the photo gallery and view images of myself, Stu, and Steve, as well as some of our friends and OTR celebrities, too. Stop in the Glowing Dial bookstore through our association with Amazon.com. Subscribe to our new podcast and also enjoy classic episodes of The Glowing Dial. You can also subscribe to our blog and discussion list and keep up with all the latest Glowing Dial news and information. Stop by the Glowing Dial online store and purchase a wide variety of items emblazoned with the Glowing Dial logo. All that and more awaits you at the Glowing Dial page at www.glowingdial.com. See you there. All right, and we are back, and it's time for that celebratory portion of the program, so let's let the music speak for itself. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, on the Glowing Dial, it's once again time for the celebrity birthday list, and here with that thankless, arduous task is Mr. Greg Barker. Take it away, sir.
Thank you, sir. All right, this will be from May 18th to June 7th. Starting things off, we have for May 18th, we have Lou White. He was an organist for the Lucky Strike Dance Orchestra and Break the Bank. For the 19th, we have Harry Sachs, who was an actor, played Daddy Warbucks in Little Orphan Annie, and Dr. Burr and Merle and Marge. On May 20th, we have James Stewart, actor. He played, amongst other things, Britt Ponset of Six Shooter. On May 21st, we have Dennis Day, who was a singer, comedian. He was for the Jack Benny program, and Day in the Life of Dennis Day. For May 22nd, we have Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, author. Many of his works were adapted for radio. On May 23rd, we have Rosemary Clooney. She was a singer of Rosemary Clooney, The Rosemary Clooney Show, and On the Sunny Side. On May 24th, Wilbur Hatch. He was a conductor. Our Miss Brooks, Gateway to Hollywood, and Screen Guild Theater. For May 25th, we have Bennett Cerf. He was a narrator, a panelist on Biography and Sound and What's My Line. On May 26th, we have Ben Alexander. He was an actor, played Frank Smith on Dragnet and Bashful Ben on Great Gildersleeve. On May 27th, we have Merlin Hurt. He was an actor of Beulah. He played Beulah on Fibber McGee and Molly, and Bill Jackson on Beulah. On May 28th, we have Gene Levitt. He was a writer on The Adventures of Philip Marlowe. On May 29th, Bob Hope, actor, comedian. He played the taxpayer on Quick and the Dead and had the Bob Hope Show. May 30th, Mel Blanc, actor, played Professor Paris LeBlanc on the Jack Benny program, and August Moon on Point Sublime. For May 31st, we have Fred Allen, comedian. He was in Limit Bath Club, The Town Hall Tonight, and, of course, The Fred Allen Show. For June 1st, we have Marilyn Monroe. She was an actress in Hollywood Star Playhouse, Edgar Bergen and Charlie Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy Show. On June 2nd, we have Rosa Rio. She was an organist with the Rosa Rio Rhythms and The Shadow. For June 3rd, we have Leo Gorsi. He was an actor on the Dead Ed Kids. Was on Texas Star Playhouse, Blue Ribbon Town. For June 4th, we have Carlton E. Moore, writer, producer, director. For June 5th, we have William Boyd, actor, in Hopalong Cassidy, and of course in the Hopalong Cassidy Show. For June 6th, we have Peter Donald. He was the actor and MC. He played Ajax Cassidy in the Fred Allen Show, and Can You Top This? Finally, in June 7th, we have Dean Martin, singer and comedian, and of course the Martin and Lewis Show.
All right, Craig, thank you very much. That was pretty good for a first shot at it. Of course, we can't all be Irby, but, you know. Speaking of which, we hope to have him back. As we said at the top of the show, he's looking for a job. Well, you know, you're always welcome to be a co-host if he comes back, you know. Wait a minute. Ooh, I said if he comes back. I mean when you come back. Steve, if you're listening to this, I meant when.
Irby, please come back.
Irby, come back. You can blame it all on me. You'll have to pardon my little raspy voice there. I've got some sinus drainage and it's causing me some problems here.
So, how's that for an image, gang?
Yeah. You can email me and I send you a picture of the inside of my throat. How about that? All right. Maybe not. That's not the kind of thing you want the kids to see, you know. Of course, it could further their medical knowledge. But anyway, it's time to move on to our next program. And it's an episode of Frontline Theater. It's called Ham for Sale. And we have a date on this of Monday, December 27, 1943, over the Armed Forces Radio Service. And this is starring Jack Benny, Barbara Stanwyck, Basil Rathbone, Michael Curtis, Gene Hersholt, Russ Morgan, and his orchestra. And we really don't have any information on the Frontline Theater other than it was an Armed Forces Radio Service program. And what I suspect might be here in Armed Forces, aside from producing some of their own shows, like Mail Call and Command Performance, which we'll be hearing in a little while, sometimes they would re-edit shows that aired domestically, removing all sponsorship because there was no advertising on Armed Forces. So sometimes they would take a Screen Directors Playhouse or a Screen Guild Theater, edit out the sponsorship, and present you the bulk of the story, maybe under another title. I think Mystery Playhouse was one that they re-edited Inner Sanctums to play under that title. So I don't know why. They could have just excised the commercial information. But anyway, really that's all the information we have about Frontline Theater. And I'm going to have Greg reach for the McGee machine, and we're going to tune this one in there. And
all right, here we go.
We're still on Armed Forces Switch, okay?
Oh, I'm getting to like this.
I think it's liking you, too. Did you see its dial light up? Yes. All right, you got it. All right, folks, so sit back, close your eyes, and remember the Frontline Theater. This is Ham for Sale from Monday, December 27, 1943, over the Armed Forces Radio Service.
It's the Frontline Theater. Frontline Theater presents a riotous, hectic comedy, Ham for Sale, starring Barbara Stanwyck, Basil Rathbone, Michael Curtiz, and one of America's top funny men, Jack Benny. As an additional treat, there's the intermission music of Russ Morgan and his orchestra. Welcome to Frontline Theater, men. This is your theater, and every performance is presented for you, the men and women of the United Nations. Our play, Ham for Sale, features 4 of Hollywood's outstanding personalities: Barbara Stanwyck, Basil Rathbone, Michael Curtiz, and Jack Benny. Strictly speaking, our play is not really a play at all, but rather Jack Benny's efforts to get into one. On hand to acquaint you with the details is one of filmdom's most lovable character actors, Mr. Gene Herschel. Now the house lights dim and the curtain rises. And here to give you the lowdown on Ham for Sale is Mr. Herschel.
Thank you and good evening. For our guests on tonight's program, we have Barbara Stanwyck, Basil Rathbone, and your actor Michael Curtiz, three of filmdom's outstanding personalities who will offer...
Just a minute, Gene. I thought Jack Benny was supposed to be one of the guests here tonight.
Jack Benny?
Yes.
Well, he was, but he got a little temperamental, so so he's just not here tonight.
But, Gene, Jack told me
look,
that...
Truman, let me explain the whole thing. When Jack found out that Michael Curtiz was going to direct Barbara Stanwyck and Basil Rathbone in a dramatic sketch, right away he wanted to muzzle in on it.
Oh.
So he called me up and tried to sell himself. I had a terrible time getting rid of him, and this is exactly what happened. Hello?
Hello, this is Jack Benny speaking. I'd like to talk to Mr. Holt.
Who?
Mr. Holt. Mr. Hirsch Holt. Is he in?
Oh, you must mean Gene Herschel. This is he speaking.
Oh, Gene Herschel, yes.
Didn't they explain to you that the play is all set and the cast is complete?
Well, yes.
I'll tell you. Let's make it some other night.
Well, now, look, don't give me that some other time stuff, and you don't have to beat around the bush either. Look, Mr. Herschel, if you don't want me to be on this show, just say so. And all I want is a simple answer. Yes or no?
No.
Now, wait a minute. Look, I can tell from your attitude, Mr. Herschel, that this is a personal matter. I mean, what have you got against me?
I haven't got anything against you, Jack, but you're a comedian. And frankly, I don't think you have enough dramatic ability to play the lead opposite Miss Stanwyck.
What do you mean I can't be dramatic? Did you ever see me when I was worried? Why, I'm only 32 and I've got gray hair.
You're only what?
I've got gray hair, can't you hear? Now, look, who can I speak to besides you about this? Huh?
Well, Jack, there's only one suggestion I can make. Get in touch with Mr. Michael Curtiz. He is going to direct the play we're doing on this program.
Michael Curtiz, the director who won the Academy Award? Oh, boy.
And if it's all right with Curtiz, it's all right with me.
Well, thanks. I'll call him right away. By the way, what's Mr. Curtiz's telephone number?
Ulrich 8900.
Wait till I write that down. Ulrich 8... Hey, wait a minute. That's the number you call to get the right time. Now, look, Mr. Herschel. Hello? Hello? Operator, I was cut off.
You weren't cut off, brother.
Oh, I'm sorry. Fine president for the Motion Picture Relief Fund. Got a good mind to run against him. Now, let's see. Where can I get Curtiz's number? Now, here's the telephone book right here. Let's see. There's C, cup, cur, curry. I hate curry. Why do they have to take chicken and spoil it with that stuff? Kurt, curtsy, Curtiz. Oh, there it is. No, miss. I want to talk to Mr. Curtiz personally.
Who's calling, please?
Benny, Jack Benny.
Yes, sir. Is it about insurance or something?
No, it's about acting.
Oh.
Please get Mr. Curtiz on the phone.
Yes, sir.
Insurance yet. Haven't sold a policy since Warner Brothers picked up my option. In the first place...
Hello?
Oh, hello, Mr. Curtiz. This is Jack.
Jack who?
Oh, pardon me, Benny. Jack Benny. Remember, we met once at a party at Marlene Dietrich's house.
Marlene Dietrich?
You know, the girl with the legs.
All girls I know have legs.
That's right, they do. Now, look, Mr. Curtiz.
Oh, Jack Benny. Oh. Are you the radio comedian?
And violinist. Now, here's the situation, Mr. Curtiz. I just spoke to Gene Herschel, president of the Motion Picture Relief Fund, whom, incidentally, I'm running against next year. And Mr. Herschel said if it was okay with you, I could be on the program.
But I'm not directing a comedy, Mr. Benny. It's going to be a very serious, dramatic play.
Well, gee, I can do drama. I made a picture once called The Meanest Man in the World. I didn't get one laugh in it. Now what do you say?
I'm glad I missed it.
look, I don't mean that. I'm talking about acting with Barbara Stanwyck.
Now, Mr. Benny, I'm trying to explain it to best of my ability. You are a comedian, and it's impossible to convince anyone that you are a lover.
Well, I'm too much of a gentleman to mention names, but, But there are a couple of girls at the Florentine Gardens that'll give you an argument about that, brother.
Now,
Mr.
Just wait a moment, Jack. That Basil Rathbone is all set to play opposite Barbara Stanwyck, and there is nothing I can do about it.
Basil Rathbone? Well, why can't we make it a triangle? Why can't he be her husband and I her lover?
Because I am a director and not a miracle man.
Well, I'll take care of the miracles. It can be worked out, don't worry.
All right. I tell you what, Jack. I'm very busy now. I suggest you call Miss Stanwyck. And if it's all right with her, it's okay with me.
Thank you, I'll do that. Oh, what's Miss Stanwyck's telephone number?
Oh, I think it's Crestview 67071.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Hello? Joe's Fish Market.
What?
Come on, buddy. I haven't got all day.
Is Barbara there?
Barracuda, 42 cents a pound.
Barracuda? Who is this anyway?
This is Joe's Fish Market.
Oh, I don't want any fish. I've got
What's wrong with fish?
Nothing.
Boats going out every day, taking a chance with submarines, and you don't like the fish they bring back.
Look, it isn't that. I just happen to call...
It's guys like you that are eating up all the cows in this country.
I never ate a cow in my life. I got the wrong number. Goodbye. Cortez gave me the wrong number purposely. Oh, well, I'll get Barbara in the phone book, and I won't take any chances this time. I'll trap her into letting me play the part. Now, let's see. I'll disguise my voice. Let's see. Stanwyck. S-S-T, Stan, Standish, Stank. I used to go with a girl named Stank. Olga Stank. Stanley, Stanton. There it is, Stanwyck. Hello? I'd like to speak to Miss Stanwyck, please.
This is Miss Stanwyck speaking.
Oh, my name is Fizbucket. Roscoe J. Fizbucket. I'm with the Radio Gallipo. Tell me, Miss Stanwyck, who do you listen to on Sundays?
Amy McPherson.
I see. Well, Miss Stanwyck, do you ever listen to Jack Benny?
Oh, yes. I never miss him. He's wonderful.
Well, that's nice to know. Tell me, Miss Stanwyck, would you be interested in doing a play that is a love scene with Mr. Benny on the radio?
On the radio, back porch, or Davenport, no.
But you just said he was wonderful.
I don't mind listening to him, but I won't have him pawing me.
Who said I was going to paw you?
Just a minute. Who is this, anyway?
It ain't Joe's Fish Market. Now, look, Barbara.
Why, Jack Benny, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Oh, I was only kidding. Have you any objection to my playing the part of your husband in the sketch?
But I understood Basil Rathbone was playing the part.
Well, he's scheduled to, tentatively. But if you want me, all you've got to do is speak up. I said all you've got to do is speak up. Barbara, are you there?
Yes?
Oh. Well, I wish you'd think this over, Barbara.
But, Jack, this part doesn't fit you. It has to be someone with a lot of sex appeal.
Well, I have sex appeal. Gee, I was thrown out of the Palladium 3 times for dancing too close.
Dancing too close. You were just tired and hanging on.
Well, no wonder the way I jitterbug. Come on, what do you say, Barbara? How about me doing the play with you instead of Rathbone?
Well, I really have nothing to do with it, Jack. Why don't you call up Gene Hersholt?
I did call him, and it's up to you. Now, look, Barbara, I've got another idea. Why can't
Will you please deposit 5 cents for an additional 3 minutes?
Whoop. 3 minutes already? Just a second. Would you mind dropping a nickel in, Barbara?
I'm sorry, but I don't have a payphone in my house.
Oh, well, that's right. What's the matter with me?
Do I get that nickel or do I have to cut you off?
Now, don't get excited. Here, I found one. There. No more 3 minutes and the man on the moon. It doesn't seem like we've been talking for 3 minutes, does it, Barbara?
You ought to be on this end.
Oh, yes. Well, come to the point, Barbara. Look, here's what I was going to ask you. When do you start rehearsing the play?
Tomorrow night at my house, but I don't think you ought
At
to...
your house, eh? What time?
8 o'clock, but really, Jack, I don't think
8
you...
o'clock. Well, thanks, Barbara. See you tomorrow night. I'll read the part, and Basil Rathbone will read the part, and may the best man win. That's fair enough, isn't it?
I'll say it is.
Swell. Well, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh, by the way, Barbara, shall I come for dinner? Oh, well, some other time.
And so ends Act One of our farce, Ham for Sale, starring Barbara Stanwyck, Basil Rathbone, Michael Curtiz, and Jack Benny. And now, during intermission, here's Russ Morgan and his music makers to give you Some of These Days. you, Russ Morgan. But now to Act Two of Ham for Sale with Jack Benny, Barbara Stanwyck, Basil Rathbone, and Michael Curtiz. As the curtain rises, we find that the unsuspecting Miss Stanwyck has invited Mr. Benny over to her home. Mr. Benny bursts into Miss Stanwyck's residence, and the butler takes it from there.
Right this way, Mr. Benny. I'll show you into the drawing room.
Thank you, thanks.
Mr. Rathbone is here already.
Oh, he is. One of those anxious guys, eh? Say, this is a lovely home.
May I take your umbrella, Mr. Benny?
Oh, yes. I should have left it out in the hall. You know, it looked like rain when I started out. I was machine, dum da da dum, bum 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 bum. Well, Mr. Rathbone, I'm Jack Benny, the movie star.
Now, how do you do?
How do you do? So the two rivals meet, eh? Rivals? Yes. Well, perhaps I should let Barbara tell you, but it looks like, I'm taking your place.
You're taking my place?
Well, it's this way. At rehearsal tonight, you and I are both going to read the part, and of course, the best man will win.
The best man?
Yes.
Mr. Benny, when only two people are involved in a statement, the comparative is used. You don't say the best man will win, you say the better man will win.
Oh.
Now, if three or more people are involved, then the word best is the correct adjective.
I see.
So before we compete for the part in this play, Mr. Benny, perhaps it would be as well if you first learned how to speak English.
Well, for your information, Mr. Rathbone, I went to Waukegan High School 4 years, and I excelled in English. In fact, I got 99 every single term.
Now, ain't that interesting?
Now, cut that out! And getting back to the Screen Guild show, the way the script is written now, you play the part of Miss Stanwyck's husband. Is that correct?
That is correct and final.
Well, that remains to be seen. I've heard of sore losers in my life, but this guy takes the cake, you know.
Step right in here, Mr. Cortez. Miss Stanwyck will be with you shortly.
Thank you. Oh, hello, Basil. Hello. Michael, boy, how are you? Fine.
Oh, hello, Mr. Cortez.
What are you doing here?
Well, I just thought I'd drop around to see if I could...
Now, listen, Mike. I don't know what this is all about, but I demand an explanation.
Look, Mr. Rathbone.
Explanation? That's what I want.
Look, Mr. Cortez.
I was under the impression that I was to appear opposite Miss Stanwyck.
Look, Mr. Rathbone.
Of course you were.
Look, Mr. Cortez.
Then what is this all about?
Look, Now, look!
Now, Mr. Benny, when I spoke to you on the telephone, I thought I made perfectly clear
Good evening, everybody.
Well, here's Barbara.
Hello.
Hello, Barbara.
How are you?
Well, here we are.
Just set the coffee down here, Richard.
Yes, madame.
Demi-tasse, Mr. Cortez.
No, thank you.
Coffee, Basil?
Yes, please.
I'll have some, too.
Here you are, Jack.
Thanks. Oh, Barbara, this is the better coffee I ever tasted.
Mr. Benny, the word is best.
There are only two of us drinking it. Now make up your mind. Well, we're all here, so let's get started with the rehearsal.
Just one moment. Oh, Mike, let's get this settled for Mr. Benny's benefit, shall we? Is he or is he not replacing me in the play? Certainly not. That's ridiculous.
Of course it's ridiculous.
Why, it's absurd.
You stay out of this.
Please. Please, stop. Stop all this bickering. Now, Jack, if you would like to watch the rehearsal, just take a chair over there and be quiet.
Yes, sir. Oh, Barbara, is it all right if I have some of these walnuts here?
Go right ahead. Help yourself, Jack.
Thanks. Big one. Jumbos.
Now, Barbara, you too, Basil. If you both turn to the page 12 on the script, we'll proceed.
Boy, these nuts are good. Sure are good.
Now, Barbara, you are a wealthy society girl who is married to a New York stockbroker. That's who you are, Basil. But he's not in love with you, Barbara. As the French say, it's a marriage of convenience.
That was a tough one.
Mr. Benny! Will you stop eating those nuts?
Barbara said I could. Anyway, Mr. Cortez, I don't want to sit around here like a bump on a log. If I can't have the lead in the play, isn't there something I can do?
All right. If it makes you happy, you can play the part of a butler.
The butler? Okay.
All right, here's your script.
Thanks.
Now remember, Barbara, you are the wife, Basil, you are the husband who doesn't understand her. And Jack?
I'm the butler whom Barbara really loves.
You are the butler, that's all.
Okay. Heavens to Betsy.
All right, Barbara. Now you start the scene. Remember, your husband is 2 hours late for dinner and you are a nervous wreck.
I understand.
Go ahead. Call for your butler.
Yes. Oh, Smedley. Smedley.
Yes, madame. Smedley yet. What is it, madame?
Are you sure my husband hasn't phoned?
No, madame.
That's strange. He said he'd be back at... What time is it, Smedley?
It's 8:30. Shall I serve dinner, madame?
Oh, no, Smedley. I'm much too upset to eat. I think I'll go to a movie. What's playing in the village?
George Washington Slept Here, starring Jack Benny.
That is not in the script. Read the line that are written, please.
Well, it doesn't hurt to give my picture a plug. It doesn't change the plot any, does it? For heaven's sake.
Read it on the way it's written.
All right. Between Hirschhold and you, I don't understand anything. All right, now give me that again, will you, Barbara?
Okay. No, Smedley, I'm much too upset to eat. I think I'll go to a movie. What's playing in the village?
Casablanca. How's that?
Much better.
And George Washington Slept Here. It's a double feature. Yeah.
Jack, please.
All right, I'll start over again. Shall I serve dinner, madame?
No, Smedley, I'm much too upset to eat. I think I'll go to a movie. Is one of my pictures playing in the village?
There can't be 3 features on one bill.
Shut up!
All right.
Now, Barbara, at this point, the husband entered the room. I'm ready, Mike.
Oh, Mr. Cortez, let me ask you something. When Basil comes in, or Basil... By the way, how do you pronounce that? Basil or Basil?
Mr. Rathbone.
Oh, well, when Mr. Rathbone comes in...
Just read the line, Jack. I handle the rest.
All right.
Ready?
Director.
Ready, Basil?
Yeah.
Make your entrance, please. Right. Oh, good evening, darling. So sorry I'm late.
Oh, Ronald, you're always late and you're always sorry. It's been like this for months. What has come between us? If I only knew, maybe we could work things out.
No, it's nothing, my dear. It's just that I've been so busy lately at the office. Let's forget it.
Dinner is served. Oh, pardon me. I came in too soon.
I can't understand it, Ronald. We must come to some understanding. This can't go on forever.
Gwen, let's be adult about the whole thing, shall we? Every night it's the same argument, this constant nagging. I tell you, I've been working at the office.
But I phoned your office, and they said you left at 2 this afternoon.
Well, I had business at the bank. Besides, I forgot where I parked my car.
Fine Sherlock Holmes can't even find his car.
Jack, stop interrupting. Continue, Barbara.
Oh, it's no use, Ronald. I know you're lying. Look at you. Everything you say, everything you do gives you away.
Now, Gwen, please.
What's that on your collar? Is it lipstick?
It ain't ketchup.
Jack, please!
Well, I don't want to stand around here like a dope.
You've got the right line now. Say it.
Oh, yes. Beg pardon, madame. Dinner is served.
Jack, don't use such a thick accent.
Well, now I've heard everything. To talk yet. Dinner is served.
Ah, dinner. Come along, Gwen.
We're not having dinner, Ronald. Not until we reached a definite understanding.
But I'm hungry.
Oh, Ronald, I can't go through another day of this uncertainty. I must know. Do you love me or not?
Of course I love you.
You're lying, Ronald. Lying.
Very well, then I'm lying.
Gee.
You might as well know the truth, Gwen. I've never loved you. Never.
Guy must be nuts or something.
And if you weren't so stupid, you'd have known it a long time ago.
Ronald, what are you saying?
Gee whiz.
I married you for your money, that's all. Everybody else knows it. And if you weren't such a silly, blind little fool, you'd have realized it yourself.
Oh, stop, Ronald,
well,
stop.
Gwen, now that you know how things stand between us, the sooner you divorce me, the happier I'll be.
No, I will never divorce you, Ronald. I couldn't live without you. I couldn't.
Tears, woman's tears. Oh, stop the dramatic.
Ronald!
I'm moving to my club. Smedley, pack my clothes.
I wouldn't touch your dirty...
Jack, stick to your lines. You are the butler.
I don't care.
Continue, Basil.
Well, goodbye, Gwen. I'm going to my club. Our attorneys can get together tomorrow.
Don't go, Ronald. Please don't go.
Oh, stop hanging on to me.
But I won't give you up. I won't.
Stop it, I say. Stop it. Let go of me.
No.
Then take that.
Oh!
That's the last straw. Tear off your coat, Rathbone.
But, Jack, this is only a play.
Play nothing. Put up those dukes, Basil.
Jack, if you don't behave yourself, you can't be in the play.
The heck with the play. If you think I'm going to stand by and see this cad strike the woman I love.
The woman you love?
Yes, Barbara. You might as well know it now. I've been crazy about you for years.
But, Jack, please.
I don't care who knows it. I don't care if the whole world knows it. I love you, Barbara, as I've never loved before. I know you will never feel the same way about me, so I'll walk out of your life forever. But before I go, kiss me. Goodbye, my love.
Wow. Now I know why they call him the Waukegan Wolf.
And so down comes the curtain on Ham for Sale, the riotous radio farce starring Jack Benny, Gene Herschel, Barbara Stanwyck, Basil Rathbone, and Michael Curtiz. Next week, Frontline Theater will again present another play, and each week thereafter will offer your favorite stars, all the great names of stage, screen, and radio in the dramas, musicals, mysteries, comedies, and romances you want to hear. If you have any special play you want enacted, just drop a line to Frontline Theater, Armed Forces Radio, Los Angeles, USA. This is the Armed Forces Radio Service.
Hi, this is Frank Brzee, Little Beaver on Old Time Radio's Red Rider. You're listening to The Glowing Dial with your hosts, Big John and Steve.
And we are back, folks. Hope you enjoyed that episode of Frontline Theater. That was Ham for Sale from Monday, December 27, 1943, originally over the Armed Forces Radio Service. It's always good to hear Jack Benny in something other than the Jack Benny program. We have two more Armed Forces Radio Service programs to bring you, and we're going to get to those right after this. Hi, Big John here to tell you all about the Glowing Dial online store. The Glowing Dial online store is your one-stop shop for all things Glowing Dial. You're sure to be fashionable with a t-shirt or sweatshirt emblazoned with the Glowing Dial logo. And your favorite beverage will taste even better in an official Glowing Dial mug or stein. How about a Glowing Dial tote bag so you can carry around your OTR with style and grace? Or be the first on your block to own Volume 1 of the Glowing Dial Celebrity Interviews on audio CD. You can surf the internet with class with an official Glowing Dial mousepad. And if that weren't enough, we'll be adding more items with new logo designs in the near future. Remember, every time you purchase an item from our online store, you're helping to support us here at the Glowing Dial. You know, you don't even have to leave your home and trudge into your overcrowded, noisy mall. You can just sit comfortably in front of your computer and do all your shopping online. All you have to do is to point your browser to glowingdial.com, click on the Glowing Dial online store link. Then, through the wonders of internet technology, you will be instantly whisked to our store's main page. There, you'll see all the items we have to offer. You're sure to find something to suit your fancy. And remember, our official Glowing Dial items make great gifts, too. And the ordering process is simple and safe using CafePress.com's secure server. Most orders are shipped within 2 business days. You can even check on the status of an existing order. So head on over to the Glowing Dial online store, the only place you can get official Glowing Dial merchandise. So what are you waiting for? And we are back, folks. It's time for our next Armed Forces Radio Service program, and that's an episode of Mail Call. And this one guest stars Lummin Abner, better known as Chester Locke and Norris Goff. This is from Wednesday, February 23, 1944, over the Armed Forces Radio Service, also starring Judy Canova, Jerry Cooper, Anita Ellis, and Harry Von Zell is announcing. And standing by to give us some information on Mail Call is Greg Barker. Take it away.
Thanks, John. Now, Mail Call was a radio program that entertained American soldiers during World War II. Lieutenant Colonel Thomas A.H. Lewis, who is the commander of the Armed Forces Radio Service, he wrote in 1944, the initial production of the Armed Forces Radio Service was Mail Call, a morale-building half-hour which brought famed performers to the microphone to sing and gag in the best American manner. The program featured popular entertainers of the day, such as Bob Hope, Bing Crosby, Judy Garland, and Dinah Shore, performing musical numbers and comedy skits to boost the morale of soldiers stationed far from their homes. Like the entertainers who appeared on the program, the announcers who spoke that introduction were familiar to the troops because of their popularity in radio. They included Ken Carpenter, Harry Von Zell, and Don Wilson. Lewis added, to a fellow who has spent months guarding an outpost in the South Seas or Iceland or Africa, a cheery greeting from a favorite comedian, a song hit direct from Broadway, or the beating rhythm of a hot band meant a tie with the home to which he hopes soon to return. After World War II ended, the need for shows like Mail Call diminished, resulting in changes in AFRS programming. Broadcasting Magazine reported that the end for Mail Call and 8 other service radio shows requiring outside talent came to an end in 1950, when the AFRS budget was cut by $153,000 by the Secretary of Defense. And back to you, John.
All right, thank you, Greg. Yeah, that's a shame. $150,000 does not sound like much in today's economy, but back then it was quite a hefty sum. So, with that said, I'm going to have you reach for the McGee machine once again.
All right.
Because you're doing such a good job with that.
Okay, I want to play with some of these other knobs.
Well, we're not sure what's going to happen. Why don't we wait till we're actually off the air to do that? Because
all right, here we go.
Might turn in Radio Playboy or something like that.
And the problem with that is?
The problem with that is this is a family program, you palooka.
Okay.
That's what the problem is.
All right, let's see what we get here. And turn.
All right, there you go. So, folks, sit back, close your eyes, and remember Mail Call with Lummin Abner from Wednesday, February 23, 1944, originally over the Armed Forces Radio Service.
Mail Call from the United States of America. Stand by, Americans. Stand by, servicemen of the United Nations. Here is Mail Call, one big package of words and music and laughter delivered to you by the stars from whom you want to hear, in answer to the request you send to Armed Forces Radio, Los Angeles, USA. Tonight's sound letter is beamed especially to the servicemen from the state of Arkansas. And standing here at the microphone on leave from their Jot 'em Down store in Pine Ridge are 2 of the Ozark country's best-loved citizens, Chet Locke and Norris Goff, otherwise known as Lum and Abner.
I doggies, Lum, we're in the big time tonight, you know it. We're off a melody roundup on the mail call. Doggies, we're getting places.
Well, come on, let's get started with our letter.
Yeah.
Dip your pen in the inkwell.
What pen? I don't see no inkwell neither, Lum.
Well, this just make-believe, Abner. We're going to pretend to write a letter to the boys overseas.
Oh, well, if we're just pretending, why'd I have to dip my pen in the inkwell?
Well, we're only pretending you dip your pen. It don't matter.
Oh, well, why can't we just pretend that I got a fountain pen, Lum? Then I don't have to do no dipping at all.
All right. You got a fountain pen.
Yeah, I'd rather have them. Them things are hard to get. Uh-oh.
Now what's wrong?
Why, that thing's out of ink. I can't understand it neither. I filled it up this morning. I ain't written nothing all day with it.
Maybe it sprung a leak.
Well, I can't tell about that, Lum. See, I'm wearing a blue serge suit.
Well, when you wear a blue suit, you ought to put red ink in your pen.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I better get me some undershirts made out of blotting paper, too. I can tell that.
Well, never mind all that. Just make out like you're writing. Just put down there, Dear Fellers.
Dear Fellers?
Yeah.
Oh.
Here's a girl you writ in lots of requests for her, so here she is to sing you a song.
Here she is to sing you a song.
In person.
In person.
One of your best girlfriends, Anita Ellis. Well, Miss Anita, what are you going to sing for the fellers?
Well, I've had a lot of requests to do Besame Mucho.
Bessie May who, Lum?
I didn't get her last name either.
It's Besame Mucho, Lum.
Oh, Abner, it's Bessie May Mucho.
Mucho. I never knowed no muchos around Pine Ridge. I know Bessie May Slocum, though.
No, Abner. Mucho means much in Spanish.
Oh, Bessie May Much. I don't believe I know her.
She must be an uncommonly stout woman.
I'm afraid you boys don't understand. Besame Mucho means kiss me a lot in Spanish.
You hear that, Abner?
Yeah, well, that's sort of a funny way of putting it. Well, she wants to be kissed. Why don't you just come right out and say, kiss me a lot? That's a Pine Ridge style. That works, too.
Well, they got a special code for talking in Spanish.
You don't say.
Oh, yeah. They take every word and put a O on the end of it.
Oh.
Now, you take, for instance, my name. In Spanish, I'd be Lumo. And you'd be Habanero.
Well, supposing a feller just wanted to come right out flat-footed and say just plain O.
You'd have to say, uh-oh.
Oh.
Well, anyhow, let Miss Anita sing her song about Bessie May. We're never going to get this straight.
Yeah, all right, Anita.
Bésame mucho. Each time I cling to your kiss, I hear music divine. Bésame mucho. Hold me, my darling, and say that you'll always be mine. This joy is something new, my arms enfolding you. Never knew this thrill before. Whoever thought I'd be holding you close to me, whispering it's you I adore. Dearest one, if you should leave me, each little dream would take wing and my life would be through. Bésame mucho. Love me forever and make all my dreams come true. just one. If you should leave me, each little dream would take wing and my life would be through. Bésame mucho. Love me forever and make all my dreams come true.
Mighty fine, Miss Anita. Granny's Abner, that girl's got a voice sweeter than a bucket of molasses.
Yeah.
And you can throw a meadowlark in, too.
Well, Lum, you don't want to throw no meadowlark in a bucket of molasses. You'd never get it out of there, stick its wings up and stuff.
Talking about how sweet her voice is.
Well, you don't have to tell me about that. I heard it. And I heard about that there Bessie May, too, Lum. But what I want to know is, who's them three soldiers over yonder, Lum, next to them instruments over there?
Oh, that's the male called trio.
Trio? Doggy, there you go back to that Spanish again.
That ain't Spanish. Trio, it just means three people.
Oh? Well, it looks to me like three people ought to be a trio.
All right, a trio, then.
Yeah, that's better.
Anyhow, this is a mighty fine musical aggregation. Guitar, piano, and bull fiddle. And they're going to play a song called All of Me.
Want me to write that down?
Yeah, go ahead.
All of me?
Do anything while they're playing.
Oh, I'll do it. Hi, Doggy Glum. I tell you, them fellers is all right, you know what?
Well, I told you they's good, Abner.
Did you notice how that there big feller over there was plucking away at that big bull fiddle?
Yeah, his fingers were sure flying.
Oh, he sure was. I wonder if we could get him for the Jot 'em Down store, Lum. He sure could pick a chicken in a hurry, you know what?
That guitar player'd be darn good for picking them pin feathers off fast, too.
Yeah, I just wonder if any of the Arkansas fellers listening in knows anything about this Bessie May, Lum. It might be Bessie May Slocum. Maybe she married a feller named Much, you know what?
Abner, will you forget about Bessie May?
Yeah, just imagine somebody writing a song in her honor and nobody knows who or where she is. That's terrible.
Abner, please, please.
Well, it just don't seem right, Lum. Now, if she was just pistol-packing Mama, why, we could trace her down by her gunshots, but not this one.
And you can forget about pistol-packing Mama, too.
Now, Lum, I got a request from a soldier overseas for me to sing at.
Well, you ain't going to do no singing on this program, I'll tell you that right now. This is mail call, not hog call. Now, get out your pen and write down all or nothing at all.
All what?
I told you, all or nothing at all.
All right, if that's the way you feel about it. I just won't write nothing at all.
Just write down the name of the next song.
Well, give it to me. What is it?
All or nothing at all.
Is that the name of a song, All or Nothing at All? My dog is all of what, Lum?
All of a girl.
Bessie May?
No.
Well, all of what girl?
All of whatever girl you're singing it to. It's a love song.
Oh. Well, supposing you don't particularly care about the girl.
Then don't sing to her.
Well, supposing she asked you to.
Then sing something else. And keep still for a minute. I've got to make an announcement.
Oh.
Fellers, here's an old friend of yours with one of the hit tunes that everybody's been humming. Jerry Cooper singing...
All of whatever girl you're singing to.
Nothing at all. Half a love never appealed to me. If your love never could yield to me, then I'd rather have nothing at all. Nothing at all. If it's love, there is no in between. Why begin then cry for something that might have been? No, I'd rather have nothing at all. But please don't bring your lips so close to my cheek. Don't smile or I'll be lost beyond recall. The kiss of your eyes, the touch of your hand makes me weak. And my heart may grow dizzy and fall. And if I fell under the spell of your call, I would be caught in the undertow. So you see, I've got to say no, nothing at all. the spell of your call, I would be caught in the undertow. So you see, I've got to say no, nothing at all.
Hi, Granny, Jerry Cooper. You got one of the prettiest altoy voices I ever heard.
Oh, uncommonly good singing. I wonder if he knows Bessie May much, Lum. You know, her name used to be Slocum, you know.
Well, don't be annoying people with Bessie May. Bren, let's get on with this letter to all the soldiers from Arkansas.
Yeah, sure. What do you want me to write down here?
Just put down, fellers, meet America's wacky, wonderful, wistful scatterbrain.
God dog, there's a lot of W's in there, you know what?
Just put it down.
All right, my
fellers, here she is, your movie and radio favorite, Judy Canova.
Howdy, folks, howdy, and greetings to all you servicemen listening in. Yeah, especially you fellas from Arkansas. You know, I kind of feel attached to your state. My folks had a farm there, an elegant place, 16 rooms and a path. Yeah. You know, Arkansas is a wonderful place. My grandpa used to go to Hot Springs every year for the baths. He did a whole year scrubbing in 1 week. They was an army camp right next to our farm in Arkansas, and every Sunday the soldiers helped us with the crops. It was the first time they picked up that kind of tomato. Some of the army boys even helped me with the cows. They hung a pail up 200 yards away, and we had a sort of combination milking and target practice. You know, while I was there, one of the hens on the farm had an accident. She swallowed a yo-yo. Yeah, now it's the only hen in the country that can lay 'em and retrieve 'em at the same time. You know, it was great fun living next to that army camp. Yeah, one night I give a big dance for the soldiers. They was 10 fellers and me, and I just wore myself to a frazzle cutting in on 'em. I really, though, I can't understand why the fellers didn't go for me. I had my sweater on, the one that says Green Bay Packers on it. I guess maybe I shouldn't have wore them shoulder pads. I really tried to be alluring, though. I had me some wonderful perfume on. It smells right sweet, besides it kills ants. You know, my grandma dropped into the party long about midnight. She come over right from the swing shift. She sure did look pretty, too. She was wearing a strapless barracks bag. Yeah. Oh, Granny. She kind of put me in mind of Veronica Lake, the way she had her beard combed down over one chin. The party broke up around midnight, and all the fellers lined up and kissed me goodbye. Gosh, 10 fellers kissing me. I had to sleep face down on a pie tin all night to get my lips to unpucker. Put your arms around me, honey, hold me tight, huddle up and cuddle up with all your might. Oh, won't you roll those eyes that I just idolize. When they look at me, my heart begins to float, then it starts a-rocking like a motorboat. Oh, I never knew any boy like you. Put your arms around me, honey. Hold me tight. Huddle up and cuddle up with all your might. Oh, won't you roll those eyes
great. You're really a humdinger.
Oh, thank you, Lum. That's right nice of you to say that, and I think you're pretty cute yourself. I wish you was 20 years younger.
Would you ask me for a date?
No, but Grandma would.
I'm afraid she'd have to go out with Abner. He's the ladies' man around here.
Oh, now, Lum, you're just making me blush.
Where's Jerry? Here he is.
Here
It's time for the
Jerry.
grand finale. You see, inasmuch as this is going to be a big jamboree of Arkansas tunes, even Abner and me is going to join in.
Well, good for us. Is Bessie Mae going to sing, too?
No.
Oh.
Just Judy and Jerry and Anita and me and you. Music, please, Mary.
How do you spell jamboree, Lum?
Oh, never mind.
I'll get it.
When they made the promised land, they gave it a name, Arkansas. Heaven smiled because she planned to make it as great as any one of 48. Nature lent a helping hand so no one could shame Arkansas. Living there is mighty grand. In Arkansas, that's where you hear lovely music, played all the day. Everyone is so friendly. When you get there, you go to stay. When they call the final roll and you've got to go, that's the law. Lordy, make them send my soul to Arkansas.
When they made the promised land, they gave it the name Arkansas. Living there is mighty grand in Arkansas. That's where you hear lovely music played all the day. Folks are so friendly. When you get there, you want to stay.
Hey, gotta do a hoedown reel every Saturday night.
Yeah, that's the law.
Uh-huh. The only place to do it right, boys, is in Arkansas.
On your mark.
Get set.
First couple out.
And all right.
Circle
forward in the middle of the floor. Right hand cross, left hand back. Travel, hand, circle back.
Left foot up, right foot down, deeper chicken over down. Lead around the big hand, roll, lead around the jets and the jets don't go. Do, see, little more do.
Grab your partner, but ain't too late. Swing it, Ellen, swing it over here.
Oh, they cut down the old pine tree, and they hauled it away to the mill. For the sweet Valentine, for that sweet Valentine, where they cut down the old pine tree. Well, it's time for the last paragraph in this letter, Abner.
Yeah, Lum, and it's a big paragraph, too. Because it's from 2 million folks in Arkansas. And it's headed all around the globe. To every spot where our worldwide Arkansas travelers are stationed.
It's just plain talk from plain folks. In Pine Ridge and Little Rock. And from all over the Wonder State. Dear fellers, it says. And dear girls, we sort of wish this letter was big enough to wrap up home and send it off to you. We'd like to send you an Arkansas sunset, the rolling hills of the Ouachitas and the Ozarks, a cotton field, a river bank, a dogwood tree in bloom, or your best girl. but all we can send you is the good remembrance of them. And the sort of singing feeling in our hearts that you just can't write down in words. The feelings we get when we think about you, which is always.
And we got love from Mom and Sis and Pop and Grandma, to the Marines and the Army and the Navy, and particular to you men on the battleship Arkansas. So, hello out there on the blue water.
Hello around the world from Arkansas. And good shooting.
Well, that's it, fellas. The end of another mail call letter. Signatures include Lum and Abner, Anita Ellis, Judy Canova, Jerry Cooper, and yours truly, Harry Von Zell. This program was arranged with the cooperation of the Hollywood Victory Committee. Another mail call will be coming your way the next time you hear... Mail Call is produced by the Armed Forces Radio Service.
Hello, this is actor Dick Beals, the voice of Speedy Alka-Seltzer. You are listening to The Glowing Dial with your effervescent hosts, Big John and Steve.
And we are back, folks. Hope you enjoyed that episode of Mail Call. That was with Lum and Abner from Wednesday, February 23, 1944, over the Armed Forces Radio Service. And we have one more episode, one more show to bring you from the Armed Forces Radio Service archives, and we're going to get to that right after this. Hi, Big John here to tell you how you can help support the Glowing Dial. You know, it takes a lot of time and effort to maintain the Glowing Dial page and produce new episodes of the show. It also takes something we usually don't have enough of, money. The Glowing Dial page and show are non-profit entities, and all costs incurred come out of our pockets, and we could use a little help from you, our listeners. There are several ways you can help support the Glowing Dial, and all of these methods can be accessed on our main page at www.glowingdial.com. One way to support us is to check on the PayPal donation box icon on our main page and make a donation. It can be as little or as much as you can afford. Every little bit helps. Another way is to purchase items from the Glowing Dial online store through cafepress.com. There you will find an ever-increasing variety of items emblazoned with the Glowing Dial logo. You can also shop in the Glowing Dial bookstore through our association with Amazon.com. Every time you order something from our bookstore, you are helping to support the Glowing Dial. If you're a fan of Dick Organ's radio work, then why not order the complete set of Chicken Man episodes on CD? Just scroll down our main page until you see those silly dancing chickens. Purchase of this set also helps to support us here at the Glowing Dial. So there you have it, folks. 4 ways that you can help support us and ensure the continuation of the Glowing Dial page and show. We thank you in advance. And we are back, folks. It's time for our last Armed Forces Radio Service program for this episode of the Glowing Dial, this Memorial Day edition. And it's going to be an episode of Command Performance. And this is with guest star Bob Hope. And this was, we have a date of Wednesday, September 13th, 1944, over the Armed Forces Radio Service. And this is with Bob Hope, as well as Johnny Mercer, Gloria DeHaven, June Allison, Ethel Smith, Frances Langford, Jerry Colonna, Jane Russell, Beatrice Kay and Ken Carpenter is announcing. And standing by to tell us a little bit more about Command Performance is Greg Barker. Take it away, sir.
All right, here we go again. Now, Command Performance is a radio program which originally aired between 1942 and 1949. The program was broadcast on the Armed Forces Radio Network with a direct shortwave transmission to the troops overseas. It was not broadcast over domestic U.S. radio stations. Troops sent in requests for a particular performer or program to appear, and they also suggested unusual ideas for music and sketches on the program, such as Ann Miller tap dancing in military boots. Top performers of the day appearing including Jack Benny, Frank Sinatra, Bob Hope, Fred Allen, Ginger Rogers, Judy Garland, and the Andrews Sisters. One memorable program, a 55-minute musical adaptation of Dick Tracy, was broadcast on February 15, 1945. Bing Crosby had the title role in Dick Tracy in B-flat with Dinah Shore as Tess Trueheart and Jimmy Durante as the Mole. Oh, I would have loved to have seen that or heard that. The supporting cast, including Judy Garland, Cass Daly, Frank Sinatra, Frank Morgan, Bob Hope, Harry Von Zell, Jerry Colonna, Lou Crosby, the Andrews Sisters, and the Joe Lilly Chorus. The program generally ran for 30 minutes outside of holiday and other specials, continuing well after World War II for a total of more than 400 programs. What do you think of that?
That's something else. And you're going to be hearing one example of that. We don't have the Dick Tracy one at hand right now, but
Jimmy Durante as the Mole.
Maybe we will do that in the future. Another Memorial Day, or next time we salute armed forces, we'll throw that one in. So, well, all that remains is for us to bring this to you right now. So, Greg, if you would reach for the McGee machine.
All right. Let's twist that sucker.
It's right next to you, so you don't have to reach too far. Greg's older than I am, so we don't want him to hurt himself in his golden years.
What? Okay, here we go.
There you go. All right. So, folks, sit back, close your eyes, and remember, Command Performance. This is with Bob Hope from Wednesday, September 13th, 1944, over the Armed Forces Radio Service.
USA, the greatest entertainers in America, as requested by you, the servicemen and women of the United States Armed Forces throughout the world. Command Performance, presented this week and every week till it's over there. Okay, gang, this is Ken Carpenter telling you to hang on to your radio knobs. Here we go again with another international hayride that aims to answer your requests that you've sent in to Command Performance, Armed Forces Radio, Los Angeles, USA. Introducing your master of ceremonies for this session is kind of a tough job because, well, he's such a stranger to Command Performance. In fact, he hasn't been on the show since an hour before he left for the South Pacific. And while he was there, he played so many tropical islands he can't read a script unless it's typed on a coconut. Anyway, he's just returned to the States, and I think a few of you might remember his name. It's Bob Hope.
Thank you. How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? This is Bob. That wasn't my scotch that fell out of the plane, Hope. You know, while I was down in the South Pacific, I saw a lot of the stations of the Armed Forces Radio Service, the outfit that makes programs like this Command Performance possible. Yes, sir, the Army has transmitters all over the Pacific. You know what they are. And radio, a transmitter is a thing that covers a lot of important territory. We have the same thing in Hollywood, only we call it a sarong. All the stations are run by soldiers, and of course that makes things different. They don't use chimes to start a program. They just rattle the dice and they're on the air. And putting up a radio station down there in the jungle is very difficult. Really, you got to make sure the aerial is too low for the P-38s to knock down and too high for Tarzan to swing on. And, of course, radio equipment is scarce on those islands, and the men have to use anything they can find. I know one station where they had to use coconuts instead of tubes. It worked out fine, too, except that was the first time H.V. Kaltenborn ever gave a news summary and a quart of milk at the same time. You know, the weather down there is like it is here. Of course, they have a light sprinkle now and then. A light sprinkle, that's South Pacific. For man the boats, boys, the island disappeared again. And you should have seen the size of some of those South Pacific islands we landed on. They were really little. One island we hit was so small the gophers had to take turns coming up. Everywhere we went, Francis Langford was a big hit. Over in Australia, Francis sang Is You Is or Is You Ain't My Baby. And in 1 hour, every GI in the country was wearing diapers. You're coming in. Thank you. Thank you very much. And those Marines down there have developed a wonderful way of clearing the jungle when they land anywhere. They just spray it with salad dressing and turn loose a couple of chow hounds. That'll go big down there, I'm sure. But I was glad to get back and see that Hollywood hasn't changed much. Slacks are still the rage. You can see everything in slacks except slack. And I understand that Crosby just went to England. Isn't that silly? I thought London had all the fog it needed. The man performance has to have a note of quiet dignity, so here's your favorite songwriter, good old Johnny Mercer, right here.
Thank you very much, and hi there, men. Brother Hope sure tossing the ox here tonight, ain't he? Yes, he's really jumping around like a stump-tailed bull in fly time. So I'll just say a quick howdy to 639, including Ripcord, Harpcord, Ding Dong, Baggy Draws, Benny the Creeper, Lend-Lease Resnack, Pop Cole, and Lock Me Up Russo. Also Mac Monty and Short Stuff at Navy 230. The gang in the Admiralty Islands, the MPs with the Central Mediterranean Forces, everybody at 9372, and the Smoke Eaters at 726. Fellas, here's a shock of corn that's still standing in the field of American folk music. One of your big favorites, the wreck of the old 97. They gave him up his orders at Monroe, Virginia, saying, Steve, you're way behind time. This is not 38, but it's old 97. You must put her into Spencer on time. Steve Brody said to his big, greasy fireman, shovel on a little more coal. And when we cross that White Oak Mountain, you can watch old 97 roll. It's a mighty rough road from Lynchburg to Danville. Lima's on a 3-mile grade. Hey, it was on this grade when he lost his air brakes, and you see what a jump he made. He was falling down this grade at 80 miles an hour, and his whistle began to scream. Woo-hoo! He was found in a wreck with his hand on the throttle, where he'd scalded it to death from the steam. Take warning from this time on and learn. Never speak harsh words to your true loving husband. He may leave you and and never return. Never speak harsh words to your true loving husband. He may leave you and never return.
One of the most heartening facts I picked up on my GI jaunt was that two of my favorite gals here in Hollywood are fast becoming your favorite overseas. A lot of you guys who have seen Two Girls and a Sailor have written us requesting the Mrs. June Allison and Gloria DeHaven.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
Hiya, fellas.
Hiya, fellas.
Glad to be here.
Glad to be here.
This might turn out to be an egg with two yolks.
Please, Bob. It's time to acknowledge a little mail. There's the air transport gang at 938. Rover, Jersey, Choppy, Pete, Doc, Hawk, Rebel, Ozzy, Flooch, and Horizontal.
Those 729ers, Greasy George, the Pheasant Kid, Sunbeam, Hoss Presby, Buckland Bill King, Smiling Frog, High Pockets, Codlock, Happy Merriweather, and Smoky Joe Salazar.
DeWitt E. Carroll, who signs Yours for Fewer and Shorter Wars. Carroll says in his letter, if you ever hear that Fitzpatrick travelogue fellow speak a kind word about this particular part of the globe, kindly slug him for me.
Quartermaster Second Class Ralph Flackey.
C.D. Johnson and the Aussies with the RAAF.
The gang at the 101st Airborne Signal Company.
Red, Brown, Don, Benchlegs, and the infantry at 9-3.
And the following members of the 453rd Stamp Lickers. Windy Swotek.
Chesty Shriver.
Chubby Smalling.
Whitey Nicholson.
Tiny Brewer.
Hillbilly Davis.
Birdlegs Dupek.
Stink Dutton.
Curly Peterson.
Moose Sherman.
And Mr. Boston Platoon.
A ringer. Anyway, here's the song you asked for. A love
like ours.
Ladies and gentlemen, now I'd like you to meet a member of our troupe that has just returned from the South Pacific, a man who's been all over, a famous world traveler, Professor Colonna, right here. Professor, we'd like a few words on your experience as a world traveler. That Pacific tour wasn't your first big trip, was it, Colonna?
Oh, no, I've been to England, Russia, Australia, Africa, and Alaska.
You've been to England, Russia, Australia, Africa, and Alaska.
Yes. I'll get one of your checks cashed yet.
Tell me, did you really go to Africa?
Why, certainly, and a famous hunter accompanied me on my trip.
Buck?
What's that?
I said Buck.
You're faded. Roll them out.
You certainly like to see a lot of the world, don't you, Kelowna?
Ah, yes, that's why I just enlisted in the wax.
Professor, the wax are all women. If you're in the wax, you're the only man in a group of thousands of women.
Happy little minority, ain't I?
Professor, this is ridiculous, trying to say you're in the wax.
Well, now, hope don't get sore just because you couldn't pass the physical.
You know, Kelowna, one thing puzzled me on our trip. You never worried about us coming down in the ocean. There's an awful lot of water out there, you know.
Oh, I don't worry about that, Hope. I can hold my breath for 3 hours.
You can hold your breath for 3 hours? That's ridiculous.
Oh, it is, eh?
Yes, it is. Nobody can hold his breath for 3 hours.
Well, watch. I'll prove to you right now.
Say, fellas, while the professor's holding his breath, I'd like to say something that I think is pretty important. When the Army decides to bust you back to civilian life, you're going to need and want a lot of things that cost money. You won't be able to get by like Kelowna does just by holding your breath. No, the new clothes you'll want to start in business, getting married. Incidentally, the professor's getting red in the face. Well, there are things to start saving for now. A good deal is GI bonds or soldiers' deposits. So think it over. Save a little each payday. Professor, how are you doing?
Where does a guy go for a retread?
Thank you very much, Professor Kelowna. Our next request comes from Sergeant Russ Begg, somewhere in the South Pacific. Russ says that all the guys in the island have pictures of a certain very beautiful Hollywood glamour girl. The boys just want to hear her voice. They say the nicest things to her pinups, but naturally never get an answer. So here she is tonight to say hello in person, lovely Jane Russell. Get your good side, honey. They'll never look at me again. Well, welcome to Command Performance, Jane.
Swell to be here, Bob. What can I do for you?
Well, I'll think of something. But right now, there's something that you can do for the fellas overseas. They want to know if your voice matches the rest of you. So would you mind saying a line, any line at all? Just quote something.
Well, how about something from Shakespeare?
Swell, go ahead.
Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt.
Heaven forbid. I just want you to quote something, Jane. I don't want you to trickle down the drain. Besides, couldn't you do something more emotional? You know, something where you put your head on my shoulder and sob? Something around...
Well, what'll I sob about?
Well, come into my office. I'll think of something.
I'm afraid not, Bob. I've got to be getting home.
Well, stick around. I'll drive you home. I have my sleigh outside. We'll mush on down. How about something?
But there's no snow.
Well, just get in the sleigh. I'll think of something.
Thanks, Bob, but I think I'll just settle for a quick so long, fellas, and thanks for having me over.
Thanks, Jane. Long ago and far away, your mom and pop used to thrill to the strains of Bicycle Built for Two, Yip-I-Yaddy-I-A, Silver Threads Among the Gold, and Who Threw the Mustard Gas in Mrs. Murphy's Chopped Liver Crepe Suzette. Well, a short time ago, a very charming young lady came along and blitzed the airways with her own particular treatment of the standard oldies. Gentlemen of the AEF, Miss Beatrice Kay. Say, Beatrice, how'd you happen to start singing these ballads of the bustle area?
Well, I figured they'd be popular with people from your generation.
Beatrice, I'm not so old. Matter of fact, I have to get Bing Crosby to buy my Saratan for me. But, Beatrice, what we brought you here for tonight was to have you do one of those bustle ballads.
Well, I'd like to sing one of my favorites. It's Eva Tangway's I Don't Care. And I hope all you fellas do. They say I'm crazy, got no sense, but I don't care. They may not mean offense, but I don't care. You see, I'm a sort of independent, of a clever race descendant. My star is on the ascendant. That's why I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if people don't like me. Why, I'm happy-go-lucky. Men say I Mister, my voice may sound funny, but it's getting me the money. 'Cause I love
That's fine. Fellas, here's some really supernatural digit manipulating that ought to leave you swinging from the closest cloud by your thumbs. You'll probably catch her in the MGM sensation Bathing Beauty. It seems that this young lady toured the South American continent, discovered and brought back with a little song called Tico Tico. English translation, when the bees start making honey, I'll come home and have the hives with you. Regardless, I want you to meet one of the most talented artists ever to appear in command performance, assisted by the AFRS Orchestra, Miss Ethel Smith. That's a lot of talent for just plain Smith, you know. Say, maybe it's always a pleasure. It is always a pleasure to introduce your next guest. Maybe. Think I didn't throw the scotch overboard, huh? But then it's always a pleasure to introduce your next guest, a lovely young lady who spent so much time with you GIs all over the world. She's practically standard equipment, one of your all-time favorites, Frances Langford.
Embrace me, my sweet embraceable you. Embrace me, my irreplaceable you. Just one look at you, my heart grew tipsy in me. You and you alone bring all the gypsy in me. I love all the many charms mama do? My sweet embrace over you. Don't be a naughty baby. Come to your mama do. My sweet embrace over
Thank you, you tourists. Say, you know, one of the things the men talk most about overseas was their girlfriends back here. No use telling you guys how you all like to reminisce about your last date in the States. I got quite a kick out of one kid from Missouri. He was a country boy, and he told me everything that happened the last night he saw his girl. Well, not everything, but he went into great detail. He was an awfully cute guy, and if I can get Francis Langford to help me out, I think you might like to hear how he spent his evening.
All right, Bob.
Well, swell. You be the city girl, and I'll be the farmer.
Fine. You won't have to change your suit.
Well, here we are out in an open buggy all alone.
Yes. Do you really like me, Robert?
Yeah, I like you a lot.
Why?
I don't know. Guess it's because you're a girl.
Robert, you're so different from the other boys. All they ever want to do is neck. You're more the quiet, studious type.
Yeah, but do a lot of deep thinking.
What do you think about?
Necking. Gee, I wish you was Betty Grable.
Oh, Robert, why do you like Betty Grable better than me?
Oh, I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's like real estate. Some developments are more attractive than others. But Francie, you know how I like you. I even brought you a present, a necklace.
A necklace?
Yeah, here, look. It's even better than pearls.
Why, Robert, chiclets. It goes so nice with my white outfit.
Yeah, if you change the gray, you can always chew them a little. By the way, what's them things you're wearing tonight, Francie?
Slacks.
Slacks. Catalog's got them listed under long drawers.
Well, that's only when you wear them on the inside.
Oh, I see.
Robert, what's that you're wearing? What's that you're wearing, Robert?
A shirt. I found it in the Sears Roebuck catalog. What's the matter with it?
Nothing. Only you're supposed to send away for one. You're not supposed to cut it out and paste it on.
Whoever thought of that? Well, anyway, honey, I'm crazy about you. You're so nice and soft, I could cuddle with you all night.
Robert, put away that rabbit and pay some attention to me. You know, you're a good catch for a girl, Robert, owning such a big farm.
Yeah, but things ain't so good in the farm, Francie. We're having a lot of trouble with Bossy. She's got too much iron in her blood.
Too much iron in her blood?
Yeah, she's the only cow in the county who can give milk and make her own pail at the same time. I was stuck between county and country. It worked out, I guess.
Well, here we are in front of the house, Robert.
Yep, we are. Let's sit in the buggy and say goodnight, huh?
All right, but be quiet. Father's asleep upstairs. Now, Robert, stop. Stop! Robert! Robert!
Gad, every night the same thing. Who is it down there?
Me, Father. I brought home one of my boyfriends.
Did you bring home one of your girlfriends, too?
No.
Selfish. Who are you with?
I'm down here with a nice young man.
Oh, are you sparking with that Smith boy?
No.
Are you sparking with that Johnson boy?
No, I'm with Robert Hope.
Old dead battery, eh?
You know, Robert, you and I have been going together for a long time. All of our friends are getting married.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, Robert, you're 28 years old now. Haven't you ever thought of children?
Yeah, but I like you better.
Hey, Hope, are you holding hands with my daughter?
Oh, no, sir.
Are you hugging her?
Oh, no, sir.
Are you kissing her?
No, sir.
What do you hear from the rest of the campfire girls?
memory of all those jungle aisles and all those GI smiles. All I can say, we were well repaid for all those many miles. So thank you so much. Well, men, it looks like that does it for this session. And speaking for the gang with us tonight and for all the guys and gals who come down here to Command Performance every week, I want you to know we consider it a privilege to knock out these programs and try to make life just a little brighter for you. I've talked to lots of you guys in the field, and I gather that the Armed Forces radio shows mean a lot to you. Believe me, they mean a lot to us performers, too. So just keep your requests coming by letter, postcard, V-mail, or put a note in a bottle and drop it overboard. We'll get it somehow and shoot your requests right back. If you haven't got time to write, stick your thumbprint on a friend's letter so we'll know you're all thinking of us, will you? Good night, gang.
This is the Armed Forces Radio Service.
Howdy, folks. This is Will Sugarfoot Hutchins. You are now listening to The Glowing Dial with your hosts, Big John and Steve.
And we are back, folks. Hope you enjoyed that episode of Command Performance. That was with Bob Hope from Wednesday, September 13th, 1944, over the Armed Forces Radio Service. And as you hear by the music in the background, that's our closing theme, The Stumbling Foxtrot by Paul Whiteman and his orchestra from 1922. It's been our theme song since day one, so it's always going to stay that way. It's time for us to leave you until the next episode, but we have some reminders for you. Don't forget that Chicken Man set. You know you want one. You know you have to have one. Just look for those silly dancing chickens on our homepage. Don't forget the Glowing Dial online store. Plenty of great gift ideas with the Glowing Dial logo, and I know for a fact that Greg over here has proudly sported some of those to some of the things we get together with, so we have at least one customer. We'd like more. Don't forget the Glowing Dial bookstore. It's hooked up through our association with Amazon.com. Great place to get that John Dunning book, On the Air, the Encyclopedia of Old-Time Radio. And anything you purchase in the Glowing Dial bookstore, you help to support us here at the Glowing Dial. Join our blog, discussion list, and Facebook page and get all the latest Glowing Dial news. Don't forget the celebrity birthdays. There's much more than we bring you here, just one per day. Much more available at our friend Ron Sales' blog. Don't forget Jerry Handiga's audio restoration service to help you clean up those old recordings, even transcription discs. And also Jerry Handiga's Old Time Radio Network, where you can hear the Glowing Dial and many other OTR shows and streaming audio. And last but not least, the Glowing Dial page, which is the internet home of the Glowing Dial, and it has links for all of the things we just mentioned. So those are all the reminders, and I want to thank Greg very much for coming on in and visiting and doing a show with us.
Oh, bet of course.
And I think we might have you back again if you'd like to do so.
Oh, you hate me, don't you?
No, we may start a whole new fandom, or Gregdom,
Ooh.
as they say. Yeah.
Bow to me.
Don't let it go to your head. It'll be awful lonely up there. Bum. Sorry. Ringo's not allowed to play a rim shot.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, well, we gave him the day off. We also give the audience the day off, so you didn't get your obligatory applause at the beginning of the show.
My 15 seconds of fame.
We will settle that the next time you are on the mic with us. So, folks, until the next time you hear us, this is Big John and Greg saying keep a positive thought, keep looking up, think big, and we'll see you on the radio. Until then, take care.